Okay, this is the fourth episode of making a simple game with HTML5 canvas with JavaScript. This time I thought we should actually make a game, using what we have looked at in the first 3 episodes. If you have not looked at them yet, you might want to start with doing that. You will find links to those episodes in the description below. There you will also find a link to the script that we are making in this episode. We will use the script from the 3rd episode as a base for what we are doing today. First, we will remove the code from the render function, except for the first filled rectangle, which is the background for the game. We change the fill color to green, so now we have a green background for our game. In the update function, we remove all the code. We will probably not use the listener for mouse clicks, but let's keep the outer shell just in case we want to use that later. We use comments signs for the code not to run. Okay, now we have a clean script to begin with. We will have to change a couple of the variables from the earlier script. We'll do that later. For now, we leave them as they are. First, we need a ball. We make that as a square white ball with the sides 20 by 20 pixels. We need a position for the ball that can be changed. So we need a couple of variables to hold the position of the ball. We can name them ball X and ball Y, and we can set them to 500 and 230 to start with. We take a quick look and we can see that we got a white ball on a green background. Now let's set the ball in motion. So we go to our variable ydir and set that to -4. We go to the function update and set it so that for each turn the variable ydir is added to the variable ball y. We also set up if statements for if the top of the ball is less than 5 pixels from the top side of the screen, or if the bottom of the ball is less than 5 pixels from the bottom side of the game screen. The game screen here is 480 pixels. With the ball being 20 pixels, the ball enters the bottom 5 pixel area when the ball Y is at 455. 480 minus 20 minus 5. When the ball is in one of these areas, the direction is set away from that area. Okay, so now we have a ball bouncing up and down. That's fine. We do the same thing for the X direction. We also have bounce zones in both sides of the screen. We set the xdir variable to -4 and we let the ball loose. And it now bounces around the screen. The ball is now always moving at an angle of 45 degrees. Let us add a random element so we get movements at different angles. MathRandom returns a float number between 0 and 1. In the X direction we set the speed to 4 plus MathRandom times 2, which will get us a speed between 4 and 6. In the Y direction we set the speed to MathRandom times 4, which will get us a speed between 0 and 4. Trying this out, we now found that we have more unpredictable bounces and that the ball is moving in different angles. We will now add a paddle, which also is a white rectangle. We set the Y position to MPY, that is the position of the mouse pointer, as we have set up in an earlier episode. We can now move the paddle by moving the mouse up and down the game screen. The X position is fixed, so the paddle does not follow the mouse in that direction. We also set up an in-area check for the right side of the paddle. We check for a point at the middle of the ball's left side. That would be ball X and ball Y plus 10. If that point is in the area, the X direction is set to 4 plus math random times 2. The ball bounces back. So now we have a game of sorts, but let's add a paddle on the other side. We build it the same way that we built the first paddle, with the Y position at MPI and an in-area function that bounces the ball back. We can now play both sides. Next step is to make the opponent computer-controlled. The simplest way is that the opponent's paddle's middle always is at the same Y position as the ball. We need a variable for the paddle's Y position. We can call that PY. We set PI to ball Y minus 40. We now have an unbeatable opponent. It is impossible to get the ball past this opponent. If we instead have the computer compare the two Y positions and move the paddle in the direction that will put them at the same Y position, but limit the speed with which the paddle may be moved at each turn, then we get an opponent that is trying to play the ball back, but is possible to beat. Okay, so now we have a Pong type of game. There are things that can be added, such as counting points. A number of things could be done differently, such as having a different return depending on which part of the paddle is hit. The paddle could be controlled by keys instead of by the mouse. You can try out different ways and see what you can come up with. In the next episode we will look at loading images from image files, but for now this will be all. I hope to see you later. Bye.